I'm SuZan Peltekian, and I'm a peak performance mindset and manifestation coach. And I help entrepreneurs like you worldwide to supercharge their minds, to supercharge their entire lives.
You're watching Success, Motivation, and Inspiration, where we share interviews with incredible leaders who are crushing it in life and business.
Hey, SuZan, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you on today. Tell me about peak performance high accountability coaching.
Well, thank you so much, Curtis, for having me. I'm so delighted to be here with you. And I love your podcast. What would you like to know about peak performance?
What are the typical results for someone participating in peak performance high accountability coaching with you?
Oh, wow. I love that question. No one's asked me that before. Yes, Curtis. The average entrepreneur who's worked with me has 4x their income within a few months of just working with me. Some have doubled, some have tripled, some haven't, some have 5x'd, and some have turned their yearly income into their monthly income, and they're now rinsing and repeating it. Most importantly, Curtis, other than the money, they're happy. We're creating juicy marriages. We're creating conscious divorces, uncoupling. We're creating lives by design. My vision is to co-create yours, anyone's who I get to come across that I'm humbled to serve. And that's what we're working on every single day, a birthday, holiday celebration lifestyle.
Absolutely awesome. And now, what is your high accountability coach? You talk about that's something I saw on your website was peak performance high accountability coaching. What does that mean?
Yes. As far as I know, Curtis, and I've Googled this several times, I'm the only person in the world who coaches daily. High accountability coaching is a mind gym. So just like we go to the gym, we don't go once a month or go 10 days in a row and not go, or go once a month for 10 hours and then not show up. This is daily, just like you and I are meeting here on camera live to speak. My peak performers worldwide come on up on Zoom, where I get to coach them, and we create multiple breakthroughs on each of those calls with them. And there's high level of accountability because we're meeting every single day versus once a week or once every 2 weeks or an evergreen program like most coaching that I like.
Now, tell me about the group. Is that group coaching or is it one-on-one? You obviously can't be doing too many people if you're doing one-on-one coaching, right?
Yes, no, it's not one-on-one. It's group, but it's hand-selected people that are suitable to be in the group. And there's an application process, especially to be in the Billionaires Club, because these gents have been with me since before Supercharge was born. Supercharge became Supercharged with SuZan 5 years ago, right before COVID. But they'd been with me for 2-3 years prior to that when I was still a real estate agent.
And now, what does it mean to co-create your life by design?
Juicy question. So you are a limitless soul, and whoever is listening in is beyond limitless. And these aren't me being positive and wanting to make you feel good. Of course, it does feel good. You have something that is exquisite. You were born in the perfect vibration. You're literally Michelangelo's David. And Curtis, being that, doesn't take away from anyone else, even if the whole world is listening in right now. Everyone is number one of one. You're a literal walking miracle, and you are a powerful co-creator. We're literally creating our lives moment by moment, whether we're aware of it or not. And that's what we get to do consciously, meaning deliberate creation, meaning creating our lives by design instead of by default through the programming that they put on us.
That's awesome. Now, tell me about your perfect target client. If you narrowed that target avatar down to name, age, gender, occupation, marital status, income level, number of pets they have, I don't care what, just your perfect client, who is that?
The number of pets doesn't matter. The idea, that is a great one. I heard you on one of your other podcasts there. It's a funny question. Thank you for that. Funny in the way you ask it. That the perfect, I'm blessed with an abundance of them. They're entrepreneurs. They could be CEOs. They could be in sales, realtors, mortgage brokers, insurance brokers, YouTubers, and influencers. And they don't have to be that. I've helped stay-at-home moms. And I don't teach a thing about parenthood, by the way. And moms and dads have come to say, wow, like we've transformed our relationship with our children. So the client who is there has an idea of what I just said about them being limitless, or wants to know about it, because we're basically, all we're doing in our work is chipping away like Michelangelo's David to unleash the full version of ourselves, because the goal isn't about It's all about becoming our best version every single day and then leaving that legacy behind.
Now, when I was researching Supercharge with SuZan, your program, I had a visual come to mind. Have you ever seen the statue that called the Self-Created Man, where it's the guy? It's a sculpture.
Yes,
Shipping himself out
yes,
of Rome.
that's David for me. Yes, what about? Tell me.
That was something I thought about, where I'm like, you're helping people to actually chisel their own life
Yes.
out of the stone that they are in.
Yes, yes.
Now, talk about working with entrepreneurs and stuff. Do you have a base income level where somebody has to be at financially right now to be able to connect with you and start working with you?
So yes and no. Yes, in that there are some programs like the Billionaires Club. They've been studying with me for 7-8 years. That's the group. It's by application. So definitely not just income, but awareness. Curtis, that's a great question. But then I have other programs that the investment is less. And also there are other programs. One that I just launched that's called Manifest Mondays. It's weekly and it is great for anyone, whether you're at a high level or you're just getting started out. The universal laws don't change. And who doesn't like a motivational Monday call every Monday for someone to rah-rah them? Except I'm not just rah-rahing them. I'm teaching them universal law and the law of attraction, where they get to actually chip away, as you said, that image, which I agree with you 100%, to unleash the full version of themselves and to live their best lives.
Now, I know you're working with different people from basically entry level to, like you said, the Billionaires Club. How does someone who is just getting started, how would someone immediately shift their mindset towards success?
Great question. That starts with, it can be done in many different ways. One of the number one supercharge shifters that I use, Curtis, that I highly invite everyone, is to actually get clear on what they want. I'm very highly coached. One of my mentors passed away, and you may know him. He was in the movie The Secret, Bob Proctor. And when I learned what he said, the only prerequisite to having it all is knowing what we want. And we don't get what we want, we get who we're being. So the first step for whoever's listening in, I urge them to keep listening to your brilliant podcast, which is so educational and fun, but then to take pen to paper and start writing out their vision. Everything I teach seems to be in the Bible. I don't teach the Bible. I don't teach theology. And in there it says, without a vision, the people perish. Most human beings I first meet, Curtis, don't have a vision, or they have one that they think they have in their heads. It's very important to put pen to paper and write that out. And then to repeat that would be key. But to repeat it by reading it daily, reading isn't enough. You want to emotionalize it. It's the subconscious work that we get to do. You want to feed it to your subconscious, the emotional mind, because that's how it goes to pass and how it becomes visible in the 3D. And then they could even record it on an app. I have no stocks in that company, or I'm not an affiliate. It's called ThinkUp. I've sent them so many referrals. It's an app, and there are apparently different versions of it where you record your vision once, but then you can listen to it in the background, because the subconscious mind never sleeps. It's awake 24/7. And we want to harness the power of the subconscious, because it's an awful, awful, awful master, but it's a beautiful servant.
You do a lot as far as helping people program their subconscious, where it blows me away how often people don't realize that you talk to somebody, and we can all picture somebody like this. You say, hey, how's your day going? And it's all right. And they've always got something negative to say. And that person who is not focusing on training their subconscious to be better, to look for the great things.
Yes.
When you look for great stuff, your mind automatically finds the stuff that you're looking for and creates more of the same, right?
Yes. And you actually gave an easier step before the vision. I just want to make sure every podcast I go on, I spread the great news that everyone must create a vision, because without it, the people perish. But yours is an easier step. Curtis, thanks for mentioning it. Is really make sure that your words, whatever you say, are in alignment with what you want, because otherwise we're constantly and consistently manifesting. Manifestation doesn't take time. It takes alignment. And most human beings are focused on what they don't want, as you said, like my day's bad, versus no, it's great. And I'm alive. I'm excited. I'm full of energy. I'm elated to be here. And, and that's a practice. Unfortunately, for so many, it's a practice in reverse, and we're magnets. So they're attracting more of that. And then they don't realize that they are actually the source.
Why do you say the most valuable real estate is between your ears?
Whoa, you've really done research on me. Only 2% of the population thinks. 3% think they think, and 95% would rather die than think. This I learned from Bob Proctor, who had learned, I'm glad you're laughing, from his mentor. And I see it every day. And Earl Nightingale, one of my favorites, who had passed away by the time I was born, he's the Dean of Personal Development. He says that we're not even using 10% of it. We have something like the internet. I'm from Canada. You're from the States. I'm in Dubai right now. There's one genius mind that's created the internet where we get to, thanks to your brilliant podcast, right, supercharge the world. And you're making this massive difference. You have that same mind. We're just not supposed to compare a bird to a frog, or a bird to a butterfly. So we're limitless. When I say we're limitless, it's not, or that you're a genius, it's not to make Curtis feel better. It's who you are. You were born in the perfect vibration. And now in your DNA, you're not so perfect, but guess what? Neither am I. I say that on all my complimentary masterclasses worldwide. We're not perfect, but that's the beauty. We're not perfect in our ways of being. That's the beauty of being a human, to, as you said, chisel away, so that we can really get to the essence. And why we're not acting perfectly is because of all the traumas and all the programming that, we got from childhood.
I love that you said. I love what you said there about that. That's really powerful. And I thought I'd mention also. We'll cut this part out, but this interview we're doing right now is actually for Amazon Fire TV, so it's not a podcast. We'll send the audio video clip or whatever to Spotify and some other platforms for the podcasting. But this is actually a TV interview, so I'm careful not to mention too much about, like, if you say something about, hey, follow me on YouTube or whatever. Amazon is very strict about, like, if somebody uses profanity or whatever.
Sure. Oh, I better watch.
They will push your shows where nobody finds the episode, like, unless they're searching specifically for that detailed section with your name.
Wow.
Because they don't want to lose traffic from somebody watching Amazon Fire TV to go off and listen to the podcast instead. So
I'm learning so much from you.
I'll cut this whole thing out, but just thought I'd mention that so I don't have to do too much editing afterwards.
Funny. Thank you.
No worries. Okay, and get back to it here. What is the biggest misconception about manifestation?
No one's asked me that, Curtis. There are so many. One, I just mentioned that it takes time. One, that we need to learn it. So many actually come to me to learn how to manifest. We're already powerful co-creators. We already know how to manifest. We're manifesting just with the example you gave about, hey, how are you? Bad day versus, hey, we're manifesting with every thought, with every word, with every feeling that we have. So that's one thing that most people don't know, that they are already super powerful manifestors. My work with my precious, beloved peak performers worldwide is to get them present, to get themselves out of the way, and to start using their marvelous, magical, limitless minds more to use it for themselves instead of against themselves. And that's the subconscious programming that is ongoing. I'll be doing it till my last breath. And I invite anyone listening in to do the same. Yeah.
Now, besides joining your mastermind and doing your daily coaching calls, share one daily habit that transforms your clients' lives.
My goodness, so many. I'll share a few. The miracle morning in any version, Curtis, would be perfect. If someone, instead of waking up and going straight to this, if they can just, there's one, put this on airplane mode for the first hour of the day, put this on airplane mode the last hour of the day, fall asleep with the words, thank you. It's the biggest prayer. It's from Neville Goddard. Most human beings, thank you. Fall asleep. Usually they'll have done 10 great things. They'll have one worry or one thing that didn't go their way. They'll focus on that. Now, the subconscious, as they're sleeping for 6, 7, 8, 9, I don't know how long, hours, how many hours, is actually going to work on it. So to make sure when we first wake up, and these are all free, so thank you for asking, because I want to give so much valuable information to our world. Thank you, Curtis. The subconscious is awake 24/7. Having said that, it's at its most receptive when we're at our groggiest, so that when we first wake up and we're barely opening our eyes, and last thing, what do most people do? Not another day, or they look at their alarm, I didn't get enough Z's, or whatever it may be, just go straight into what they were thinking about yesterday, especially if yesterday They didn't close out the night with a thank you and fall asleep with a wish fulfilled. That's the vision, right? So all of these, like, supercharge your life by supercharging your mind. That would be morning, don't look at the phone. Evening, don't look at the phone. Morning, get up with, I'm so lucky. Pinch yourself that you're alive. Not to be philosophical, Curtis. So many people didn't wake up today. Like, this is a gift, right? It's the most glorious gift, right? That fall asleep with thank you. If you can, after you say thank you, hold the vision of whatever it is that your goal is, even better. If you don't have a vision and you can't see the visual, you can write a goal card. I invite everyone listening in to have a goal card written in the present tense, because the subconscious only understands in the present, and carry that goal card around with them. You can even have one under your pillow, as crazy as it sounds, and touch it. Just use all your senses basically for you instead of against you. Those are a few. Of course, I could go on and on. Nature is a big one, right? Meditation is a big one. All free. Anything, grounding, sunning, all of it.
Now, do you have thought about putting something on Supercharge with SuZan.com, maybe a downloadable PDF goal card, something like that, where people can get your branded card and go through the questions?
What a great question. My team, actually, I was in between teams, is working on everything in the background right now with goal cards and even more stuff to actually give away as freebies and as value added, so that we can supercharge the world. Thank you. I love that. Yes.
Absolutely. So if you're watching this show right now on Amazon Fire TV, click the pause button, scroll down, there'll be a call to action somewhere in this where you can actually get in touch with SuZan, check out her website. If you're reading this on Newswire magazine, we'll have a dedicated call to action at the bottom. So any of the links that you click will automatically scroll you to that page where you can get in, maybe book a free discovery call with SuZan or whatever, get in contact and start connecting with you, right?
Anyone coming from you would get the freebies. Absolutely. I'd be delighted to. Thank you, Curtis, for that. It's my privilege. I'm humbled to serve. This is not just my childhood dream and divine purpose. It's my life's dedication and devotion, by the way. Thought I'd mention that.
I always love connecting with people like you that are doing stuff intentionally, living a life to help others and help others level up and become their best version.
Thank you. It's a joy.
Life on their own terms today.
So thank you. I didn't share part 2. Part 1 is put pen to paper. And for whoever's having a hard time coming up with a vision, it's a 2-pager. Turn the phones off this weekend or whenever Curtis's Grip TV show is out and you're listening to it. After you listen to it, dedicate a couple hours on the weekend where you turn the phones off. You really take pen to paper, a cup of coffee, tea, whatever's the drink of your choice, and literally start writing from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. What is it that you want to do? Who do you want to be? What kind of service do you want to provide to our mankind? What contribution? What legacy? What travels? What fun things? What adventures do you want to create? Do you want to have a spouse? Do you not want to have one? And the drunk monkey's going to come and really try to get us off track, Curtis, to say, come on, I'm too old, right? Or it's too late, or I don't have the funds, which is what we hear most of the time. And please put aside the considerations. If you put pen to paper, and I use the word God, Gus, universe, God, spirit, infinite intelligence, creator, interchangeably, so that no one gets stopped by the word God. I use the word God. If God planted, yes.
And not to cut you off there, but
no, perfect.
I believe there has got to be, when you look at these cells, when you look at everything that we are, I mean, every cell of your body, plant strands, DNA, RNA, all the stuff that create us. I owned a cosmetic medical laser clinic and a company that manufactured bioidentical injectable research peptides for years.
Whoa.
For me. But when you start looking at how ridiculously detailed, down to the atom, how ridiculously detailed the universe is,
yes,
I cannot imagine having enough faith to believe that this was just a random accident that was not created by an all-powerful, all-knowing creator that loved us and created this world for us to have our best life.
Amen. Amen, Curtis. Yes, and for whoever is listening in, I gave a few other words, but yes, God basically, if God planted that seed in our hearts, it's our job to bring it to pass, and he put it there for us to actually, and it's our privilege, and it's our responsibility to bring it to pass and to be the best individuals, the best we can be. to unbecome basically and become our version of David. So step 2, the only prerequisite to having it all is knowing what we want. So we created the vision, but we can't just get that. We must become that individual. So that's a short paragraph. You've heard it said before, Curtis, is self-image, identity, self-concept. It's a short paragraph of I am statements where we write it in the present tense. And that's the individual that we already are. We just may not think we are. Like, I'm disciplined, or I am my word. Like, that's the first one in my self-image, right? And now you're repeating it, but you're not faking it till make it. That's going around like some stuff on social media. There's no faking required here. You're acting as if, which is very distinct, because that is who the Creator, God, made you to be. It's just that we've forgotten. And so what we do is we basically get that self-image written, get the vision written. We're repeating it every day. Now, if you really want to supercharge that, get it on Think Up, repeat it in the first thing in the morning, like I mentioned, last thing at night. And then if you want to take it a step further, look in the mirror. The eyes, they say, are the windows to the soul. That's the subconscious mind. That's the heart of hearts. That's the emotional mind. And if you can bring emotion, don't say, oh, I am my word, what I say is done. I am my word, right? And bring passion and emotion into it and watch it come to pass. That's how I retired from real estate, and I'm now living my dream and supporting so many blessed and privileged to do the same. And
That's
Curtis,
awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's one thing. I interviewed Jeff Wobig. He's on Operation Rhino Wars. He's a Navy SEAL Team 5, SEAL Team 7 sniper, had the longest shot in history as far as a competition shot.
Wow.
Like multi-mile, some kind of crazy thing. But I was talking to Jeff at a men's retreat here a few months back, and he said, he was talking about that fake it till you make it thing. The difference between having a positive mindset, and this is the most powerful, this guy that could literally kill you with a spoon sitting there at the table.
By
You just got that powerful aura,
yeah.
but also super positive and uplifting and encouraging. And so I asked him about that, the fake it till you make it thing. What about these people that are trying to live with a good mindset and stuff? He said, I've got nothing against fake it till you make it, but at some point you're just a fake if you don't actually do what it takes to achieve the goals.
Yes, exactly. You must embody it, and that's how you attract. We're magnets. We're attracting to us. You said you love attracting entrepreneurs like myself who are doing things right back at you. I mean, and there are no coincidences. You were saying earlier you don't think there's a mistake. I used to think there are. When you study universal laws, you're 100% accurate, Curtis. There are no mistakes. There are no coincidences. It's all done by law, and those are God's laws. They're not mine.
This interview is sponsored by Newswire magazine. We celebrate the entrepreneurs and thought leaders shaping the future, those who don't just adapt, but innovate, who inspire others to think bigger, lead boldly, and create lasting change. Only a select few are featured in Newswire magazine, and for those who earn a place on the cover, the opportunities are unmatched. Your story shared with a global audience, your achievements celebrated on national billboards, reaching millions. Every leader has a story. Every vision deserves a platform. Who will rise to the top? Stay tuned. You're witnessing greatness unfold.
I absolutely love your energy. You just got
Thank
this
you.
magnetic, inspiring, uplifting personality.
Thank
What is
you.
one practical tip for overcoming negative self-talk?
Wow. So the short answer is one word. It's awareness, Curtis. And awareness is through all of the work that we get to do. As I said, it's our privilege, duty, and responsibility. When you're aware you're doing it, and then aware that also that how harmful it is, that you're literally creating your life with it. And so once you are aware, you can literally flip it. Like, that's what I say to my clients right now who've been with me for years, is like, when the thought is going to come in, it's a great thing. That means we're alive. So pinch yourselves. And the first thought is never in our control, but the second one always is. So a practical tool that I could offer to your awesome listeners would be to write down affirmations. Maybe sit down and think of what they normally say, right? And then from there, write the complete opposite, because what they're saying is a lie. The more I'm waking up every day, Curtis, with the work I'm doing, because I invest hundreds of thousands in a calendar year on SuZan just to become, the coaches need coaches, right? I must do the work, embody it as well. I mean, of course, it's a must and it's my privilege. So I would invite them to write their affirmations. Now, if they don't know what they're saying or how to get started, the fastest hack is one that I couldn't stand it when Bob Proctor would tell us, because he would catch us and I didn't like being caught at the time, is look at your results. Let's say you have a super juicy relationship. That means your self-talk more than likely is extremely great when it comes to relationships, to love, to being in a juicy relationship. But let's say your self-talk on the flip side, the finances, the bank account, isn't where you want it to be, whether it's negative, whether you have the millions and it's not enough, whatever it may be, right? Well, what are your thoughts and what are your limiting thoughts? What are your beliefs? Because it's thoughts repeated day in, day out that become our beliefs. And that basically comes to pass. Whatever we believe, we become. So it would really be beneficial to actually stop and look at your life to see, well, what's working, what's not, what's in between. Then, well, what thoughts led to that? And then from there, write the complete opposite, because that's the truth. Everything else is a lie. I said you're perfection in your DNA. You were born perfect baby Curtis, and everyone listening in was born perfect babies. And we never thought, wow, they cry too much, or man, they stink. I mean, we may say it, but there's not one person who doesn't think a baby is lovable, right? Right? You just adore babies, and they don't think they're crazy that 1 minute they're crying, the next minute they're laughing. They just cry when they need something, and then they're back to their normal state, which is the state that is our divine birthright. Abundance is our divine birthright, Curtis. Being happy is our divine birthright. But because of all of the conditioning, we've forgotten that. And my entire work is to guide. I think we're all doing that with each other. I keep touching the mic, sorry. Is to hold each other's hands, to return back to love and remember who we are, limitless.
What's a simple technique that will help our audience to manifest goals faster?
First of all, to get clear, and then write. So the vision is going to be so big. They're like, what do I do with it? Thank you. I didn't continue. We're doing the vision. We're doing the self-image. From there, make a powerful decision. Anything you decide, that means you're saying no to everything that isn't that. Now you're looking to act in alignment with that person. But to break it down, thank you for this question, Curtis, it would be take one thing from the vision, that juicy vision that seems so big that you don't know how we're going to do it. Well, how do we eat an elephant one bite at a time? That's the goal card. And make sure you write it in the present tense, and you repeat it ad nauseum. Like your ego's going to fight with you. The drunk monkey's going to play its games. Not to listen to any of that is to keep repeating it day in, day out, because just like how we learned, like parents would never give up on their kids to walk, even if it took the kid longer, right? Or how we learn how to ride a bike. That's it. If you did it when you were 10, 20 years later, 30 years later, 50 years later, we're still going to know how to ride a bike. Or we drive to the office. We don't know how we got there on autopilot, right? But first we took some lessons. It's the same thing. If we could just take a goal card and say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning $1 million this year and I love it, and repeat that over and over. So once you've written it out, you can write it on top of that 100 times a day if you want. It could be 50. I'm just giving the more the better, obviously. Now, if you really want to wire it in, you could write it with your non-dominant hand, Curtis. That is right. And then
like
you,
brushing your teeth with your
yes, I've done that.
Something.
Yes, I love you, because it conditions, right? Very nice, very deeply. And thank you. You do that. You've done it. The brushing.
Actually.
Oh, cool. And then the same thing, put the goal card everywhere, in your car, in the fridge, if you open it like me a few times a day, under your pillow, and repeat it with emotion. Repeat it in front of the mirror. And if you really want to supercharge it further, you could actually put a high vibe song that you like in the background, and literally 3 minutes, repeat it, because an average song is 3 minutes in front of the mirror. But the most important key is to actually feel it, which is to emotionalize it, Curtis. Those that would be the number one thing that I would invite them. Most people don't have goals, and especially they're not written if they have them. And writing is the first step to answer your question.
And going back to talking about programming your subconscious again, where you believe this is who I am, this is what I do.
Yes.
When you believe something, you act in alignment with that belief in order to prove to yourself that you're right.
Yes.
How does someone know if they're truly aligned with their purpose?
Whoa. Oh, there are multiple different ways. For me, it's a deep knowing that there's no question. You don't need to even ask if you're in deep alignment. Like there's no questions left. You know how when a man and a woman are first dating, if they're wondering about the person, it's a red flag. I mean, if I have to go around to ask 10 people or my mom and dad, there's a problem, versus, no, you have a knowing. And that's something most people, Curtis, don't have. They don't have the knowingness. And that takes a lot of awareness. And awareness is like the levels of awareness. They're infinite. It's like there's this ultra luxury building. There's the engineering guy. He's in the dungeon. He has no clue that it's an ultra luxury building. There's someone who lives on the 3rd floor, enjoy some of the amenities of it, but they have no idea that if they went to the 18th floor, you could see the entire, ocean, right? And then there's the individual who owns the building and multiple others around the globe who's arriving now into his penthouse with his heli on his helipad. So it's levels of awareness. But if your purpose, you would know what it is because you would have a deep-seated knowingness that doesn't need any explanations, in my opinion. Yeah.
Now, you've given us a ton of great strategies and just great tips here. And actually, if you're watching this, if SuZan ends up being featured in Newswire magazine, I would love to put you on the cover. You've got phenomenal energy. But
thank you.
Again, if you're watching this on Amazon Fire TV, pause the show, scroll down. If you're on any type of a newer smart TV, pause, click, scroll down, and it'll open up the Amazon Fire TV, the Newswire magazine page. You can send that link right to your phone, get connected, read that article. I would love to get you in contact with her. There is, you're just sharing so much value here.
Hey, this is my joy. Thank you for having me. It's my privilege. I'm so humble.
You talk about the performance coaching. Do you help clients identify their potential, or is that kind of on them and then you help them just achieve the potential?
Wow. So it can be both. My vision is to co-create yours. So however I get to do it is fine. I've, both can work. I have done both. I do both. So if someone's a newbie and doesn't know it, I know how to support them. It's my joy and privilege. And if they've been with me for years, they already know. My work is mostly to remind them at this point of who they are, which I do every day.
How do you define a supercharged life?
Supercharged life is that life on our terms where we're really not living by our conditioning, Curtis. Most human beings that I meet are, Nightingale calls them the follower leading the follower. The follower is just following the follower, excuse me. And I know all too well, by the way, I don't want to sit here acting like I got it all together. I've been through all of that. That's why I know. And I work on my awareness every single day. And now I make sure what gets in and what doesn't, like the phones are off. I do the airplane stuff. I go inwards. I meditate. I spend time in nature. So Supercharged life, you'll know if you've created the vision instead of it happening, because they're programming us 24/7. Regardless, we've been programmed, is if you're doing it your way versus how we were told. Because if I were to tell any of the people that are close to me that this is what I wanted to do, it's like, no way, right? But you follow your own path. You have that deep-seated knowingness and you do it no matter what. And you're living that vision or a version of it when you just first start, depending on how juicy it is. Then you know that it's a supercharged life. You're happy, which is your natural state. You're serving our mankind. You're providing massive value. Contribution is a big value for you. Like for me, my biggest values are freedom and love. And that's what I am guided by to live every single day. And that for me is supercharged.
Now you talked about having statements and basically like a mantra. What's one powerful question that people should ask themselves daily?
Oh, wow, I love that, because it could be, most of the time they're actually asking themselves disempowering questions. So to flip it, thank you for making this easy, Curtis, for whoever's listening in, is to ask power. So if they can catch the bunch of disempowering ones they are asking, like, why me? Say, what can I learn from it? They can actually write down the 10 usual ones that they ask as disempowering questions and then flip it around and say the exact opposite. But when you wake up, you can ask God for guidance to say, how can I serve today? How can I live in my highest timeline? How can I be of massive contribution to my mankind? How can I live in my joy? Because a big part of the law of attraction, the secret of the law of attraction is to be happy. And yet it's not a secret. And yet most of us are taken out by nothing. You look at me funny in traffic, I'm ready to rip your head off, instead of learning to soothe myself, right? To calm down, to regulate myself, which most of us haven't learned. I learned quite later in life, actually, Curtis. So I know all too well about it. To be calm, to come back to the present. Actually, that's one of the best supercharged shifters, and it's free. Whenever you're feeling anything that's not in alignment, that means if you're not feeling good, that means you're not in alignment. Come back to your breath. That's where your power is, and take deep belly breaths. And that's where you'll take a few deep belly breaths, go for a sunshine walk or even a freezing cold walk. I'm from Toronto originally, and it's freezing cold a lot of days. When you're out with the elements, with Mother Nature, there's something beyond healing.
Share your go-to exercise for boosting self-confidence.
Whoa, the number one is, it's funny, such great questions. I said it's in my self-image. It's literally the first word, the first sentence. I am my word, being your word. So many of us, Curtis, don't relate to our words. And I was one of them. We say we're gonna, hey, nice seeing you, nice running into you. Like, let's say we're friends and I haven't seen you in years. Let's meet up for coffee. Meanwhile, I have no intention of ever seeing you, or vice versa, right? And you're like, right, we're so right. And or let's say I go to the gym with a buddy. I may never cancel on them, but I may cancel on myself. And word is actually so important. This is in the Bible. First came the word, right? Now, not only being your word does it allow you to live a life of integrity, which allows you to actually manifest way faster and be supercharged, and then you attract. We're magnets. We don't hustle. We don't go after it. It comes to us. We're attracting. Number two, you're in your power when you are your word. And number three, and this isn't everything, but for today, is your subconscious is, as I mentioned, listening 24/7. When you are your word, or when you're not, it knows. So if you keep missing going to the gym and you think it's just you against you, well, what's more important than you? I said at the beginning, you are Michelangelo's David. You are number one of one. You're pure, a walking miracle. That means you're pure potentiality. You're pure liquid love, and love serves. Our job is to get out of the way, to get on the court, swing full out, and serve our mankind. And it starts with us remembering who we are and remembering the divinity within and who the Creator made us to be, who God made us to be.
I absolutely love this. I would love to feature you in Newswire magazine, put you on the cover, do a full article, your tips and highlights and insights and stuff on helping our readers to live a better life.
Wow.
And this is going to be the last question here.
Yes, thank you. Would love it.
And this is for you personally, but also if you're listening to this on Amazon Fire TV, listen, and I think this is something you can apply to your life as well. What is one secret to maintaining high energy and enthusiasm like you do?
Oh, my energy and enthusiasm. I've been born with it, and I don't want to say, and I believe everyone has it. I believe everyone is God's child. It's just we're different levels of awareness. Is the secret to having it. I was born with it, so we could cultivate it with all of the supercharged shifters actually with all the supercharged shifters that I provided, all the different tools throughout your brilliant podcast, and you're asking such great questions, Curtis, is to actually if we don't create that vision, it's hard to be enthusiastic because it's like, that's it. We're being pulled by the past. Today is just maybe a couple of different things. Maybe you change what you're wearing, maybe not even, right? You take a different route to work, maybe not even, or you eat something different, but not much changes because 95 to 98% of our results and our behaviors is coming from the subconscious. Only 2 to 5% is coming from the conscious. So get the pen, write down your vision, write down the self-image, repeat it ad nauseum for years. Even if it takes years, it doesn't matter, right? Then now you have something that you're pulled towards, and that's the future fulfilled. That's where I say we don't hustle and grind at the Supercharge headquarters worldwide, Curtis. We're pulled by the vision, and anything you want is yours. Just know that. And if you don't know it, start getting interested in learning that God didn't put us on planet Earth to suffer. He put us here to actually give our gifts, share our gifts, and live our best lives. But that's going to require some thinking on our end.
Absolutely awesome. I have really enjoyed this interview. Really looking forward to connecting with you. And again, I'd love to chat with you here a little bit more after the show.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome.
Well, you are awesome. Thank you, Curtis.
This interview is sponsored by Newswire magazine. We celebrate the entrepreneur.
I just cut you off there. Let me do that final outro there.
Hilarious. Oh my God. I've never been on one like this. Thank you. I was just saying thank you, right?
Got all the editing going on. No, that was awesome. I'll wait for you to finish your reply here.
I was saying thank you to you, right?
I'll just do the whole thing again here.
Oh, sure.
SuZan, this was absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for the insights and knowledge and just inspiration that you've shared on this show. You've been an incredible guest.
You are so welcome, Curtis, and it's been my joy. I'm humbled to be here. Thanks so much for having me. I just love your podcast and can't wait for your awesome listeners to get so much out of what we just co-created. Thank you so much. You rock.
Thanks for watching Success, Motivation, and Inspiration. This episode was designed to help you level up. See you next time.